comment on that. I haven't read the report.
Well, that's fair then. Last question. How about getting rid of these vote scanning Diebold Sequoia machines and going back to hand counted ballots?
Well, I don't think that we necessarily have to do everything by hand. I think we have good technology that should be able to take care of that. We should have a paper trail so we can go back and verify it.
Well, you were coming on the set, so you didn't get to see Eugene Curtis testifying there in Ohio that he wrote the software that can steal the votes. You didn't see that?
No.
Okay, well, people at home saw that.
Well, if that's true, if somebody did that, that to me seems to be criminal, and I would investigate that.
Well, I called him. You know what he's doing? He's going to law school. He was a computer programmer. Now he's going to law school. But more than that, I gotta tell. I'm sorry. I wish I could have got to this with Cacho. The BBC announced the third building was falling, and said it had fallen when it hadn't. And you can look over Jane Stanley's left shoulder and see this 47-story building, 7 World Trade Center, still standing. And she's announced it's just fallen 20 minutes ago. Let's go to that tape and we'll be back with Matt, because this proves the BBC was in on it. They knew in advance this whole thing was scripted. Can we go to that tape? We're going to go to the band. All right, go to the band for a minute. And we'll be back with Matt Kokkonen.
Well, a guy like me, will he never go free from a gal that's gone with his ring on? Is she here? Is she there with the jet black hair? Is she on a beach? I reach for a reason. Again with the gun, it's a sin in the sun, it's a slap on the face with grace. Now she's gone with the red shoes on, and she's gone without a trace. Now check it out, I can sing like this, I can pull a perfect kiss, but she'll never be off for me. Well, I look like a star, I can even play guitar, but she'll never be off for me. And now she is so sweet, almost like a melody, but she'll never be off for me. She got the prettiest eyes and a voice of paradise, but she'll never be off for me. As I melt in the pots of me and my thoughts of a girl I met on a beach. Look, pretty as she was, I was never good enough, and she looked right over me. Now I love to stare at her pretty brown hair and would dream of her in my arms. I closed my eyes and smelled the air, but I knew she wasn't there, and now my dream girl is gone. So it goes, I can sing like this, I can pull a perfect kiss, but she'll never be off for me. Well, I look like a star, I can even play guitar, but she'll never be off for me. And now she is so sweet, almost like a melody, but she'll never be off for me. She got the prettiest eyes and the voice of paradise, but she'll never be off for me. Check it out, now does she have a man to hold her pretty hand? Even if he's strong, he's gone. I try to be fine as I write another line and make my sweet gal sing along. Like now I push my pen back and forth and back again as I scribble lyrics down. And I miss her touch, and now she used to make me blush, wishing she was still around.
Clouds of smoke and ash, and we know that behind that was an empty piece of what was a very familiar New York skyline, a symbol of the financial prosperity of this city, but completely disappeared now, and New York is still...
I had no idea, and I'm absolutely shocked. I can't believe it.
You just saw it. It wasn't my footage. That was the BBC footage.
Yes, that makes perfect sense now, that it was an inside job.
So when Professor Stephen Jones comes up and says, I tested the dust and it was full of thermite explosive, this thing was taking down my demolition charges. When the architects come and say, look, planes, those twin towers were designed for planes to hit and stand up. And jet fuel only burns at half the temperature that's needed to melt steel. Now, this you can't argue with. People will argue about all those other facts, but you can't argue with this footage. Can you understand why the BBC never reran this footage?
Oh, I certainly can. Oh, what an embarrassment. Oh, I certainly can. Oh, what an embarrassment.